This Sunday afternoon, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers host the Troy Trojans.
This Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network broadcast is presented by MedCenter Health, the official healthcare partner of WKU Athletics. WKU, discover your future on the Hill. Climb with us at WKU. Coca-Cola. Coke Zero Sugar has real Coke taste with 0 sugar and 0 calories. Try one today. Bluegrass Cellular, the official wireless sponsor of WKU Athletics. Crossroads IGA, a fresh way to shop. Passport Health Plan, proud sponsor of WKU's Hilltoppers with heart. U.S. Bank, proud to be the exclusive banking cornerstone partner of WKU Athletics. Kentucky Department for Public Health, be tobacco-free. Quit now, Kentucky.
Graham Doty and Jay Walton, happy to be with you this Sunday afternoon at Tittle Arena, where the 5-4 Western Kentucky Hilltoppers host the 4-5 Troy Trojans. And Jay, both of these teams coming off of a big win last time out. Let's take a look at some of the key players today. First for the Troy Trojans, Jordan Bernardo. What a career he's had for Troy.
He's their go-to guy. You mentioned a great career. He's been a double-figure scorer his entire career at Troy, and needs to have a great game today for them to have a chance here at Tittle Arena.
And for the Hilltoppers, how good has Charles Bassey been? Just a true freshman.
Yeah, he's been fantastic and coming off one of his better games at Arkansas. A big win for the Hilltoppers. He has 21 and 9, game-winning assist there at the end of the ball game there, and just 13 NBA scouts in the house today. Most of those guys here to see Charles Bassey.
Representing 14 NBA teams as well. Steve Devine, John Hampton, and Ray Natali are the 3 officials, and we're underway from Tittle Arena. So Troy with a basketball. Troy coming off of a win against Carver College, located in Atlanta, Georgia, 88-43. And what a start for the Trojans as they go right to Bernardo.
Yeah, right at him, and that's going to be an interesting matchup. Jared Savage draws that assignment, and a little bit undersized there at that position. Jared more of a perimeter defender than a post defender, and the Trojans able to take advantage of him on that first possession.
Hollinsworth misses the 3. Troy goes to Hicks. Hicks leads the Sun Belt in field goal percentage. He turns and fires, misses, and Hollinsworth with the board for the Hilltoppers. Couple changes this week for Western Kentucky as the Hilltoppers turn it over off the fingertips of Charles Bassey. Deshaun Murray, no longer a part of the Western Kentucky basketball program, decided he wants to play professionally overseas. First game back for Lamonte Bearden, the redshirt senior point guard from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Bearden was academically ineligible for the first 9 games, and the Hilltoppers are happy to have him back, Jay.
It's a big storyline for today. You know, on paper, that just makes everybody move back to their natural position for Western Kentucky and do the things offensively that they are used to doing. You'll see how that works as far as chemistry goes. Sometimes when you come back like that, it takes a game or 2 to work back into the lineup. But he's a veteran. It's not like he's a first-year player. He's been around, so interesting to see how that develops this afternoon.
Bearden last year in 38 games, he averaged 12 points and 3 rebounds, 3 assists as well. Johnson spots up for 3 in the corner. Can't hit. Rebound, Bearden. Bearden in transition, goes up and gets fouled by B.J. Miller. That's the first foul against Troy, first personal on Miller.
I think you see quickly what Bearden brings to the table. Out in transition, pushing the ball right to the paint and the teeth of the Troy defense, getting himself to the foul line.
Western Kentucky head coach Rick Stansberry was happy to have Bearden back in the lineup today, but a lot of praise for Bearden off the court, the way he's handled his business, but he's also worked hard in the gym, as you see Coach Stansberry there.
You like to see the way the young man responds to having to sit out a few games and, you know, earn that opportunity to get back on the floor, and already making an impact here this afternoon.
So Bearden ties it at 2. Both of these head coaches are very familiar with each other. You just saw Rick Stansberry in his 3rd season as the head coach at Western Kentucky. He's 45-31. Three in the corner by Bernardo, off the mark, and Savage can't hold on to it for West Kentucky. But it's Hilltopper basketball, as it looked like Alex Hicks was the last one to touch it for the Trojans.
Two pretty good looks from the perimeter so far by Troy. They've got to knock some of those down here early in this game, get a little inside-out offensive balance.
You just saw Phil Cunningham. He's in his 6th season as a head coach for Troy. He's 72 and 98. He spent 12 seasons as an assistant coach at Mississippi State under Rick Stansberry, as Bearden off the mark on the three. Offensive board for Hollingsworth. He will spin and float one up. Bassey goes over the back. His first personal foul, first team foul on the Hilltoppers.
This should be the easiest scout for these coaching staffs all year long, you know, based on the familiarity with the two staffs. Phil Cunningham, a longtime Rick Stansberry assistant, going to run a lot of the same things on both ends of the floor, a lot of the same terminology. Not an exact mirror of one another, certainly, but a lot of similarities.
There's another block for Charles Bassey. He leads Conference USA in blocks with now 26. Jay touched on it earlier. Had a huge block at the end of the game at Arkansas to secure the victory for West Kentucky. Bassey, a dangerous pass, is intercepted by Bernardo. So here's the senior Bernardo, a wonderful pass to Johnson, can't hold on to it. Bernardo in the corner, 3-ball by Miller. Hollingsworth with a rebound.
Troy able to force the turnover from Charles Bassey in the post. You can expect to see that double team often today whenever Charles catches it anywhere near the paint.
Here's Bassey. Bassey put back is good. First bucket of the game for Charles Bassey. So in 5 weeks of the season, Charles Bassey has been named the Conference USA Freshman of the Week now 3 times. That is a Western Kentucky record for a freshman since the Hilltoppers have joined Conference USA. Hollingsworth was a Freshman of the Week twice a season ago. Here's Bernardo. Bernardo to Hicks, and Hicks with a soft touch. First bucket for Alex Hicks.
Nice interior passing by the Trojans right there. Very unselfish play by Bernardo.
Bearden bumped and fouled by B.J. Miller. Second team foul on Troy. Second personal foul on Miller. And Miller may be coming off the floor here for Troy. And he will. First substitution, we'll get a look at K.J. Simon, a 6'3" freshman guard from Orlando, Florida. Simon averaging 4 points and 2 boards. Inbound to Bassey, taps it in the corner to Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth on the drive, hangs and gets fouled by Johnson. Already 3 fouls against the Trojans.
See early how aggressive the Hilltoppers are being offensively. We got 3 times, about 3 different players, the ball's gotten into the paint already, and Hilltoppers definitely want to get to the line a lot. That's one of the things Coach Stansberry thinks is important, is that his team shoot more free throws than his opponent, and so far today you can tell that's been an emphasis.
That was a calling card a season ago for West Kentucky as Hollingsworth rolls in the first free throw. Hollingsworth, a sophomore from Lexington, Kentucky, was Mr. Basketball in the state of Kentucky and the Gatorade Player of the Year coming out of high school. Knocks down both free throws for his first 2 points.
West Kentucky early here going to a 1-3-1 defense, and Trojans can handle this. They should be able to get some good looks early, especially from the corners. Unable to connect from deep so far, though.
Under 10 to shoot, and a steal by Merrick Nelson. Nelson to Bearden, hangs in the air, can't finish. Rebound for Adams. Adams down the lane, his pass is stolen away by Bassey. Bassey finds Hollingsworth, who gets clobbered by Bernardo on the way up. And this will take us to the first media timeout with 15:25 to play in the first half. Western Kentucky leads Troy 6-4. Hilltoppers at the free throw line when we return to Diddle Arena. Welcome back to Diddle Arena. 6-4 lead for the Hilltoppers over Troy. Injury update is brought to you by the Medical Center, the official healthcare partner of Western Kentucky Athletics. First, let's take a look underneath to Charles Bassey.
Yeah, I think you're going to see that early. Troy is going to double team him anytime he catches the ball with his back to the basket and make him prove that he can pass out of that double team. There they create the turnover. Charles got to slow down and find that open cutter, get the ball to the backside of the floor for open shots for the Hilltoppers.
Hollinsworth at the line for a pair of free throws. Injury update, Matt Horton for the Hilltoppers this afternoon has a boot on his ankle. He's dealing with a bone bruise. He will be unavailable as Hollinsworth misfires on the first free throw. Here's Horton. Last time he played was here in Diddle Arena against Tennessee State, and he played well that day.
He did, made an impact on both ends of the floor, a couple of blocked shots, and made field goals, and disappointed to see him not dressed out today.
7-4 lead for West Kentucky. Chase so far, both teams pretty cold from the field. Troy's opened up 2 for 9. Hilltoppers 1 for 6. As Hicks misses short, Hollinsworth with a rebound. Another turnover. Hollinsworth trying to get it to Charles Bassey, the big fellow.
That's twice. The Hilltoppers have thrown the ball ahead to Charles, unable to connect though, but you do like to see the young man running the floor well.
And he does run the floor extremely well for a 7-footer. Foul against the Hilltoppers in the corner. Second team foul on West Kentucky. Hilltoppers do lead this series 12-7 all time. First meeting since 2014. These two teams used to be old Sun Belt Conference foes. Long 2 in the corner, knocked down by Adams.
That's a good sign for Troy. Darian Adams off the set inbounds play, catch and shoot off the screen, and nice to see him knock an early jumper down.
Bearden goes up and gets it rejected by Johnson. Here's Adams. Adams goes high off the glass, got it over Savage and lays it in. Troy retakes the lead, 8-7.
Block shots leading to transition offense for Troy.
In the corner, Nelson open 3. Too strong, Bernardo with a board. Simon going against Savage, a wraparound pass to Hicks. So coming out of that timeout, Troy on a run here. Now leading by 3 as West Kentucky doesn't have any field goals in 2.5 minutes. Hicks fouls Hollinsworth. This will be the 5th team foul against Troy. First personal foul on Hicks.
Hollingsworth coming off that ball screen just puts so much pressure on the defense because not only can he come off those screens ready to shoot, he can turn the corner, get in the paint. He can also create for his teammates. So you've got to pay a lot of attention to that young man coming off the ball screen right there. They forced the Trojans into another foul.
Smith, Anderson, and Banton are in the game for the first time for the Hilltoppers. Banton is coming off a game in which he started and played a career-high 38 minutes at Arkansas for the true freshman, as Hollinsworth cranks a 3, misses it short. Another rebound for Bernardo, his team-high 3rd.
Yeah, Banton developed some confidence that last game out, and going to see a ton of minutes at the backup point guard position now that Lamonte Bearden's back in the lineup.
Here's a topside triple by Adams that pops in and out. Another offensive rebound for Bernardo. Right place, right time for him. Troy in front, 12-7 as the Trojans on an 8-0 run over the past minute 45. Here's Banton slicing to the rim, finds the freshman Smith. Smith goes up, Banton stays with it and draws the foul. 6 fouls against Troy, as Banton will attempt to stop the 8-0 run here for the Troy Trojans. First personal foul charge to Williams. Banton, the freshman from Toronto, Canada, reclassified in the class of 2018 as he gets the friendly roll on his first free throw.
Great size for a point guard. 6'8", long. It's a matchup problem for most teams.
Second free throw's good. Hit a bit of a growth spurt as well when he was in high school. Blossomed to the 6 foot 8 inches where he is now.
Here comes the 1-3-1 again for Western Kentucky.
And Hollingsworth jumps the passing lane. He gets the steal, and Hollingsworth hangs. Putback is good by Savage. So that's the first field goal for the Hilltoppers in over 4 minutes.
Attacking this 1-3-1 half-court trap. Those passes can't stay in there that long. Too much length, too much athleticism by the Hilltoppers to not take advantage of that.
Nice strong move to the basket by Javen Johnson. His first field goal this afternoon. 3-point Troy lead. Hollingsworth with the 3 points. Finds Smith, and Smith dribbles it off of his foot, tries to jump on top of it. It's loose around midcourt. They got bodies everywhere at Diddle Arena. Banton is the one that comes up with it. 2 to shoot. Banton gets it off. Too strong. Put back by Smith is no good, and it's off for Josh Anderson on the baseline. And this will take us to immediate timeout with 11:36 to play in the first half. Troy leads Western Kentucky 14-11 in the first meeting since 2014. We'll be back after this to Diddle Arena.
Okay, fans, today we have Sam representing.
Welcome back to Diddle Arena. 11:36 to play in the first half. 14-11 lead for Troy over Western Kentucky. Golfer Billy Tom Sargent is from Georgetown, Kentucky. Sargent's 4 career wins on the hill, tied for the second most by a Hilltopper since 1980. He's won at least one tournament each of the last 3 golf seasons. This student athlete spotlight is brought to you by Franklin Bank and Trust, hometown banking at its best. So Troy with the basketball coming out of this media timeout. And another turnover as Nelson comes up with it, and Nelson misses the layup and tries to keep it alive. Anderson comes up with it. Rather, that's Bearden back in the corner to Nelson. That could have been a traveling call on Bearden.
Coach Cunningham from Troy definitely asking why that was not called.
He slid a good 2 feet on his back. Under 10 to shoot here. As Bearden spins down the lane, goes up and gets hacked in foul. This will be number 7 on Troy.
Once again, Lamonte Bearden getting in the paint. Just a hard matchup. Hard to keep a guy that's quick as he out of the paint. And when he gets in there, creates a lot of problems for this Trojans defense. Second time already tonight he's been to the free throw line.
What are your impressions so far of Western Kentucky offensively? They're only 2 of 15 from the field, but they are getting to the free throw line. They're 8 of 9 from the stripe already.
Yeah, I don't think Coach Stansbury's worried too much about their perimeter shots not falling. That'll come, but I think he loves the fact that they've gotten to the line and put some pressure on this Troy defense, created a little bit of foul trouble early.
4 points for Bearden to lead the Hilltoppers. Knocked out of bounds, and it will belong to Troy. You can tell this defense for Western Kentucky is giving the Trojans fits right now.
Yeah, it's been good to the Hilltoppers so far, and their length and size is ideal to play this style. And Trojans have not proven they can handle it very well yet. A couple turnovers already, almost another one there, and they're going to have to figure out a way to get inside this trap, or they're going to see it the rest of the afternoon.
Troy, after a slow start shooting, has made 5 of their last 6. There's a misfire by KJ Simon. Hilltoppers with a chance to take the lead. They're just 1 for their last 10 from the field. Smith calling for it in the paint. Hilltoppers don't look that way.
Not a great shooting lineup on the floor for West Kentucky right now.
As Banton will try a 3, too strong, and a foul underneath against the Trojans. That's the 8th foul on Troy. That one charged to Charles Norman, the junior from Durham, North Carolina, his second personal.
If I'm Phil Cunningham, I consider going zone with this lineup on the floor. Not really a perimeter jump shooter in the lineup at all for Western Kentucky, and maybe avoid a couple fouls here over the next early going.
Hilltoppers do send in Hollingsworth and Bassey as Nelson is at the line. Nelson had the huge, what turned out to be the game-winning bucket at Arkansas.
A nice little feed from Charles Bassey. He got the double team, and Nelson with a heads-up cut to the basket. The go-ahead bucket late in Arkansas.
Nelson hadn't been to the line a lot this season. He's 6 of 11 from the free throw line.
They don't count on him for a lot of offense, but they love what he brings to the table as far as energy, effort, hustle plays. Usually draws the assignment of guarding the other team's best player, playing the top of this 1-3-1.
Yeah, every team needs somebody like that. Give you some energy and great defensive minutes as we're under 10 minutes to play in the first half. Here's Bernardo on the drive. Bernardo kicks it in the corner. Norman slicing across the lane, under 10 to shoot. This is Adams in the corner, picked up by Bearden. Bearden with the running floater, got the roll. That's his first field goal. He's got a team high 6 points.
Bearden in the paint again, proving he can break this defense down. That time in transition, calling his own number.
Bernardo tees up a three and buries it in front of the Hilltopper bench. That's the first triple for the Trojans, Jay. They were 0 for 6 prior to that.
They needed that one. They definitely needed that one. And Jarvis, inside-outside game. That time cues it up from the corner.
Bearden tries to answer, and he does. So back-to-back buckets for Bearden in his first game of the season. Here's Miller. Miller finds Adams. In the corner, Bernardo lost it, and it stays with Troy here as Alex Hicks returns to action for Troy. So Bernardo comes off as Hicks comes in for him.
He won't sit long. They need him on the floor on both ends. Young man brings a lot to this team.
Quick hands by Bassey, under 10 to shoot, and it's out of bounds off of Williams. Another turnover on Troy, that's their 5th.
It's the ill-advised pass through that zone defense by Hicks. And get that zone moving a little bit back and forth before you try to force the ball inside.
Here's Bassey cutting to the bucket and lost it, and it stays with the Hilltoppers here. Bassey, 1 for 2 from the field, 2 points and a rebound so far. Had the double-double.
Get him a couple more touches early in the game than they have so far. Get him involved.
As Nelson checks out, Savage returns to the floor for West Kentucky. Bassey had the double-double against Missouri State and 21 and 9 at Arkansas. Feed him in the paint here, turns and floats one up and in.
I love that move. That time he just turns quick over his left shoulder to the baseline before the double team could arrive. No dribble, no post move needed. Just turn and score, big fella.
What an answer as Alex Hicks having himself a good first half. He's got a team high 6 points. Whistling a foul against Troy away from the basketball. This will be number 9 on the Trojans, and this will take us to a timeout. 7:55 to play in the first half. Western Kentucky in front of Troy, 22-19. First game back for Lamonte Bearden, no problem as he knocks one down for the Hilltoppers, and a nice answer for Troy as well. Back after this.
Woo! How about them tops? Looking good tonight.
Yes, they're looking good tonight. You're not looking so good tonight. You need to get a hold of the WKU store and get a new shirt.
I can take care of this. The WKU store. The WKU store.
I got this. WKU store.
Here's what I found. The WKU store.
Flip phone selfie.
Who's gonna push the button?
Welcome back to Diddle Arena. So far for Charles Bassey, Jay's got 4 points, and the Hilltoppers starting to feed him in the paint some.
On his first possession, caught it, double team came, and they forced a turnover. And notice right there, he turns over his left shoulder before the double team could arrive. Got plenty of good touch to make that shot from the baseline, and that's what I like to see from Charles Bassey. Make a quick move without a dribble before the double team arrives.
22-19 advantage for West Kentucky. Biggest lead for the Hilltoppers has been 5. Biggest lead for Troy also has been 5. So here's the talented freshman Charles Bassey at the line for the first time this afternoon. Hits the first free throw. He had 5 blocks at Arkansas, Jay. That was the most by a West Kentucky freshman since Jeremy Evans had 6 against North Texas in 2006.
He's got great instincts. Great timing as a shot blocker. Not the most explosive athlete, but his instincts and timing are what make him great.
Coach Stansberry's had himself some good shot blockers throughout his day. One of them, Jarvis Bernardo, the older brother of Jordan Bernardo at Troy, the NCAA all-time leading shot blocker. And again, Troy having some issues with this Hilltopper defense. On the drive, hanging and getting the foul is Darian Adams. Got fouled by Josh Anderson, his first personal, the 3rd foul on the Hilltoppers.
You like to see Adams attacking this defense off the dribble, get to the paint. You know, so far for Troy, their front court is their strength. We know that coming in, Bernardo and Hicks, and they're doing their part so far. But offensively, Troy got to get some help from the perimeter. Got to get a couple perimeter jump shots to go down, and a little bit more of that kind of action we just saw from Adams.
The sophomore Adams knocks down both free throws. From Montgomery, Alabama, Adams won 3 state titles in high school. He's got a brother Desmond, plays basketball at Auburn Montgomery. 2-point Hilltopper lead. Here's Bassey underneath. Bassey staying with it. And the 3rd time is the charm for Charles Bassey with 7 points.
And then you saw the 1-3-1 from Troy. So again, we talked about the similarity between both of these coaching staffs. So far, both teams have showed a 1-3-1 trap.
What an answer by Javen Johnson. He buries a 3. He's got 5 points.
Both teams successfully attacked it on their last possession.
How do you want to attack that offensively? As Bassey can't hold on to it, a turnover, the 5th one on the Hilltoppers. Transition 3 for Johnson. Back-to-back triples for Troy.
A great sign. You mentioned attacking this 1-3-1, the diagonal pass like you saw in the last Hilltopper possession. Got Charles Bassey the ball in the basket, near the basket. That's how you want to attack the 1-3-1, the diagonal pass.
Turnover's been called on Bearden. He took a hard fall. Coach Stansberry doesn't like it. That's now 6 turnovers on the Hilltoppers. They averaged 14 a game.
Just trying to force a little bit too much early in that offensive possession. Like to see a little bit more ball movement from the Hilltoppers.
Troy on a 6-0 run over the past 45 seconds. They made their last 4 shots. Here's Bernardo trying to avoid the double team in the corner to Miller for 3. Troy has now made 3 in a row. The Trojans on fire here in Diddle Arena.
We talked about it before the game. They're going to have to get some of those perimeter jump shots to go down early, and here lately they've been able to do it.
This match is the largest lead in the first half for Troy. Hollingsworth with under 10 to shoot. Savage tries to answer, and it pops in and out. Rebound underneath for Johnson. Troy on a 9-0 run. This is a Troy offense. They don't really have one person that can bury a bunch of threes. They're pretty spread out as Hicks misses the jumper. Bernardo can't finish. Tap up, picked up by Johnson. Johnson guarded by Bearden and is fouled in the corner. This will be the 4th foul on the Hilltoppers. And this one will be charged to Savage, his second personal.
That foul right there was created by Jordan Bernardo, going hard to the offensive glass. His third offensive rebound already. He's a load. You got to make contact with him on the box out to keep him off the glass.
Johnson checks out for Troy. In for the first time today, it's Spencer Rogers, a 6'4" freshman guard from Buford, Georgia, averaging 4 points and a rebound. And Merrick Nelson checks back in for the Hilltoppers, coming in for Josh Anderson. 5-point Troy lead. Miller on the inbounds. Rogers, who just checked in. Miller on the drive. What a finish at the rim by the senior B.J. Miller. Largest lead of the first half for Troy here, Jay.
Yeah, Merrick Nelson just giving up a direct line drive to the basket right there. Coach Stansbury not going to like that defensive effort.
Hilltoppers playing at home for just the third time this season. 7 of their first 9 games are on the road. They traveled almost 8,000 miles. We got a whistle and a 3-second violation on Charles Bassey.
A lot of sink there offensively for the Hilltoppers. They looking to get the ball inside to Charles Bassey, but he called for the 3 seconds before they could get it inside.
So Troy on this 11-0 run, what have you seen from the Trojans that has allowed them to do that?
A couple made shots. It's amazing what happens when the ball goes in the basket. And
what a pass from Bassey to Hollingsworth. Wow.
So far for the Hilltoppers, that's been their best offense is transition. You know, rebound the ball, get it out, and run.
First points for the Hilltoppers in 3 minutes. Bernardo calling for it. He's double teamed in the post, and we got a foul underneath on the Hilltoppers. This will be the 5th. That one charged on Hollingsworth, his first personal.
He commands a lot of attention in the low post. A great post feed right there by B.J. Miller to get the ball into a tight window.
Troy, 6 of their last 8. Here's Bernardo. He lost it. Nelson with another steal. 7 turnovers now against the Trojans. Under 4 to play in the first half.
See if we can get Bassey a touch inside if you're the Hilltoppers on this possession.
Savage underneath fouled, and count the basket for Jared Savage. Timeout called on the floor. 3:40 to play in the first half. Troy in front of Western Kentucky, 32-29. Jared Savage at the line trying to complete a 3-point play when we return. 3-point lead for Troy over Western Kentucky with 3:40 to play in the first half. Second leading scorer on the team this season for the Hilltoppers has been Jared Savage.
Been quiet so far a little bit this afternoon offensively. A nicely designed set play. The back screen there, no help from the Troy defender, and he gets the layup off the nice back cut.
Savage, the Austin Peay transfer, had to sit out last season. What a pickup he's been for Rick Stansbury. Savage, a native of Bowling Green. Played right down the road at Warren Central High School, completes the 3-point play.
Back to the 1-3-1 trap for Western Kentucky.
How do you think Troy has handled it throughout the course of the first half?
I didn't like the way they handled it early. They were a little tentative with their passes, especially up top. Throw a couple of floaters that the Hilltoppers were able to get their hands on, led to a few turnovers. They've settled down a little bit here lately.
Deep 3 for Savage, buries it. Savage starting to heat up, Jay. He's got back-to-back buckets, 8 points for him.
Certainly got the range.
Hilltoppers back in front. Simon finds Adams. Adams goes up and banks it in over Bassey. Wow.
A great finish with the left hand. Second time he's gone hard to the basket and finished with a left hand today.
West Kentucky's biggest lead in the first half has been 5. Troy is led by as much as 7. Bearden with an acrobatic shot, can't finish at the rim. Bernardo claims the rebound for Troy, his 7th. Bernardo finds Rogers. Wow.
The most impressive thing about Jordan Bernardo so far today has been his passing ability. Very unselfish play. You know the attention is going to be on him offensively, and he has had his head up, finding open guys throughout the course of the afternoon so far.
Speaking of Bernardo, he just picked up a 2nd personal foul. West Kentucky in the double bonus, so 2 shots on the way for Jared Savage.
I would imagine he's going to rest for the rest of this half. Can't afford for Jordan to pick up a 3rd. 2 minutes left to go in the first half.
Looks like Coach Cunningham is getting ready to send in Devontae Foster for the first time in this first half. And he will. So Foster, 6'8" junior forward from Stockbridge, Georgia, played 1 year at the College of Central Florida and 1 year at South Georgia Tech Community College. He had a career high 4 points last time out against Carver College.
Well, the Trojans just need to weather this storm for the next 2 minutes with their best player on the bench. And here comes the 1-3-1 again. Got to get that ball to the middle of the floor off the pass or the dribble to attack this trap.
Adams, what a feed to Hicks underneath.
Caught Bassey cheating a little bit out, and Hicks found the gap, and a great find by Adams.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Here's Hollinsworth. Hollinsworth lost it, recovers, and goes up and swatted away by Hicks. Simon leading the charge. Simon barrels all the way to the rim and scoops it in.
They really like this young man. He's not a true point guard. He's an exceptional athlete. And right there, putting his head down and making it happen in transition.
Well, you wondered how Troy would handle with Bernardo on the bench. That's a big-time 3 made by Jared Savage. He has a game-high 13.
He has counted the seams. I don't know what happened there defensively for Troy, but you can't afford to leave Jared Savage with a look like that. He's going to make you pay.
Yeah, he's too good of a shooter. Shooting at a 39% clip from downtown this season. Hicks forces his way down, and count the bucket for Alex Hicks. He's having himself a monster first half. He's now got 10 points, and he's going to the line.
Love the aggressiveness on that play by Hicks, just going right at Charles Bassey. When you're playing against a guy who's a great shot blocker, you can't be intimidated and start thinking, I've got to fade away. You've got to go right into his chest, create the contact like Hicks did there. Earns the chance for the and 1.
Hicks played 1 year at Walter State Community College in Alabama. Completes the 3-point play, 11 points to lead Troy. 50 seconds left in the first half at Diddle Arena. Troy leading 43-38. Savage tees up another 3, that one offline.
A little bit of a heat check by Jared there. But I like it. You're trying to get the 2 for 1 in that scenario. Get a quick shot. Now the Hilltoppers can play out the half with the last shot if they choose to do so.
Hollinsworth, he's been relatively quiet by his standards in the first half. He's 1 for 6 from the field. He has 5 points, but he does have a team-high 7 rebounds. Game clock, shot clock are almost identical. 6 to shoot. 2 seconds for Hollinsworth. He spins, goes up, and will close the first half with that shot for Tavion Hollinsworth. 7 points for him now. Halftime score, Troy leads West Kentucky at the break by 3.
That was a big-time move by Hollinsworth to finish the half.
43-40. Troy in front of West Kentucky at the break. We'll step aside and be back with more to Diddle Arena after this. Halftime at Diddle Arena. The Troy Trojans lead West Kentucky 43-40 at the break. We'll step aside and be back with more at Diddle Arena after this. Welcome back to Diddle Arena. It's halftime. Graham Doty happy to be joined by the athletic director for West Kentucky, Todd Stewart. And Todd, since joining Conference USA, the Hilltoppers have won a league-best 24 championships. How would you describe life as a Hilltopper during that span?
Well, winning is fun, obviously, and all the credit to our coaches and our athletes. When we went into Conference USA, we were the last one to go in. There'd been quite a time of musical chairs in terms of conference realignment, but we were the last one to go in, so we knew that all eyes would be on us, and we took the mantra that you only have one chance to make a first impression. So 4 years later to have 24 championships and have the next closest school have 12 is just huge. Obviously to double everybody up, and again, all the credit to our coaches and our athletes. Not only are you having success on the court, but also off the court. Over 300 student athletes have a GPA average of 3.0 or higher. How much pride are you taking in that? Well, a lot, because our coaches do a great job of recruiting true student athletes who truly are motivated to progress and ultimately get a degree. And so the fact that we've had the amount of success that we've had in terms of championships while at the same time having academic integrity with high graduation rates says a lot that we're proud of. Men's basketball program coming off a monster win at Arkansas. Rick Stansberry's in his third season as the head coach for the Hilltoppers. What a job he's done. You can't overstate the impact, Graham, that he has had. You really can. I mean, just for him to inherit what he inherited a little over 2 years ago, and for us to be where we are now is incredible. And obviously last year to win 27 games, that was the 9th winningest season in the 99-year history of WKU basketball, but it was the only season of the 99 where we beat a team from the ACC, the Big 12, the Pac-12, and the Big 10 in the same year. So not only have we won, we've beaten some big teams, and that's carried over into this year with wins over West Virginia and Arkansas. Made a new football hire a couple of weeks ago. You bring back Tyson Helton coming back to the Hill. How excited are you to have Coach Helton? Well, very, because he was here during really the glory years of our program. From 2014 to 2016, we won 3 bowl games, won 2 conference championships, and we're actually ranked in the top 25 one year. And he was a huge part of that on Jeff Brom's staff. And so to have him back now, we'll run the same offense that we ran back then and hopefully have similar success. This time of year, what is this time of year like for you around Christmas time? Well, normally it's busy because we're in a bowl game. This year, unfortunately, we're not. It's the first time in 5 years that we haven't been in a bowl game. But, it's still an exciting time. The semester just wrapped up. We had commencement yesterday. You talked about the graduation before. We had 22 athletes actually graduate in December this year. And certainly men and women's basketball are full throttle right now with some really exciting games coming up. That is the athletic director for West Kentucky, Todd Stewart. Todd, thanks for the time. Enjoy the second half. Thank you. We'll be back to Diddle Arena after this. All right. It's halftime at Diddle Arena, and Troy leading on the road 43-40 against West Kentucky. And Jay, first half thoughts for you. What stands out to you? Well, for Western Kentucky, they haven't shot the ball great. I don't think they're too concerned about that. What I do like is Lamonte Bearden's impact on the game. His first game back from being ineligible academically, and he has really been an igniter for their transition offense. He's gotten into paint several times, created not only shots for other teammates, but he's got 9 points himself here in the first half. So I know Coach Stansberry was anxious to get him back and kind of move Tavion Hollingsworth back to his natural position off the ball, and he's been able to have that positive impact so far offensively for the Hilltoppers. And just, as far as the shooting percentages go, I think you're okay with that. Just like to see Tavion Hollingsworth get a couple good looks early in the second half, get himself untracked offensively. And Charles Bassey's 3 for 5. I'd like to see him get a few more touches down there deep and work a little bit inside out. Halftime score, Troy in front 43-40 over West Kentucky. We'll step aside and be back with the start of the second half after this. Start of the second half is about to get underway at Diddle Arena. Graham Doty and Jay Walton, happy to have you with us as the Troy Trojans lead 43-40 against Western Kentucky. West Kentucky in that first half, 11 of 30 from the field, 37%, 3 of 10 from downtown. Hilltoppers are out rebounding Troy 19-16. Troy shooting 55% from the field, 4 of 11 from three-point territory, 3 of 3 from the free throw line.
So the 5 starters that started the game for West Kentucky on the floor to begin the second half. Same 5 that started for Troy on the floor to begin the second half as well. As Charles Bassey gets it right away and will lay it up and in. He's got 9.
Well, they were intent to go to him early, and they got the ball so deep that time. Their double team not able to get there in time. Big Charles catches it that close to the basket. Good things happen for Western Kentucky.
This is the Troy team a season ago, 16-17 overall. They were 500 in Sun Belt play as Higgs buries a topside triple. He's got 14 to lead all scorers. Troy 2 years ago, they did end up winning the Sun Belt Tournament Championship and ended up punching their ticket to the NCAA tournament. They returned 3 starters, 8 newcomers on this team from a season ago. On the drive as Bearden kicks it up top for Hollingsworth. Ball's loose in the paint. Hicks tries to dive on it. Picked up by Miller. Miller off to the races, finishes at the rim.
Just got to stop the ball in transition if you're West Kentucky. Can't allow B.J. Miller to drive coast to coast and lay the ball in.
Hollingsworth with 7 points. Pitches it to Bearden in his first game in a Hilltopper uniform this season. Flips one up and misses short. Rebound underneath for Johnson, his 3rd. This is a Troy team that was picked preseason 4th in the Sun Belt. Georgia State was picked to win the league preseason-wise. What a steal by Bernardo, but he can't finish. Savage with a board. Bearden on the drive, attacks, he falls down. The ball is out of bounds. It is off of Bearden. Troy basketball.
A little sloppy the last couple of possessions for Bearden. Just a little bit more patient offensively. You know, he wants to get in the paint, he wants to create. But sometimes you got to let the offense flow a little bit before you try to attack.
How much of that is what you were alluding to in the first half? Just a little bit of rust, maybe some chemistry issues as well.
Well, it's his first game back, and you know the young man's chomping at the bit to just go out there and make something happen. And, you know, it's to be expected. Wow, Hicks with another 3, showing his inside-outside ability.
He's got 17, Jay, to lead all scorers.
I know they talked to this young man before the game, you know, playing against Bassey and heralded prospect that he is. You know, this young man wants to prove himself in this one-on-one matchup, and so far playing extremely well today head-to-head with Charles Bassey.
He grabs the rebound. Higgs, that's his 4th. Troy on an 8-0 run over the past 2 minutes. Miller hangs in the air, gets it to drop. 9 points for him. Rick Stansberry has seen enough. A 10-0 run for Troy. Largest lead of the afternoon for the Trojans, in front 53-42. We'll step aside and be back to Diddle Arena after this. Troy up by 11 over West Kentucky with 17:01 to play in the second half. Troy on a 10-0 run, and Jay, a big part of that, Alex Hicks, the senior, knocking down some 3s.
He's been big this afternoon, and, you know, he's hearing all this talk about Charles Bassey, the heralded freshman, NBA scouts in the house to evaluate that young man. And Alex Hicks saying, hold on just a minute. I'm a senior. I've been around the block a few times too. Let me show you a little bit of what I can do, showing the inside-outside ability.
On the floor for West Kentucky, Nelson, Bassey, Hollingsworth, Bearden, and Savage. Troy has Miller, Norman, Hicks, Bernardo, and Adams. West Kentucky hasn't scored in almost 3 minutes. Hilltoppers, this has been a great place for them to play at home under Stansberry at Diddle Arena. 27-6 under Coach Stansberry, 13-2 against non-conference opponents. Bassey, an offensive rebound, put back no good, and it's out of bounds off the Toppers.
Like the set play by Coach Stansberry out of the timeout to get Hollingsworth involved. Got the shot you want, just weren't able to knock it down, and Charles Bassey unable to come up with the offensive rebound underneath.
6 lead changes, 4 ties. Throughout the course of this game, Adams lost it on the way up and turns it over. That's number 8 on Troy.
2 possessions in a row that Troy been able to turn the corner, get in the paint off a ball screen in action, and Hilltoppers need to make an adjustment on their ball screen defense and keep that ball out of the paint.
Western Kentucky has missed their last 5 shots. What have you seen from them to open up the second half as Bearden falls down to the floor?
Well, just possibly forcing a little bit too much.
Foul was charged on Norman, his 3rd personal. That's the first foul on Troy.
Bearden again with a penetration ability, just hard to keep out of the middle of the floor off the dribble. It's got great stop and go, great quickness, and boy, when you can break the defense down like that, it just creates so many problems for the defense.
So Bearden at the line. He actually started his career at Buffalo, where he averaged 14 points a game as a freshman. He was 13 Mid-American Conference selection. He's got 9 points in his debut game this season for the Hilltoppers. Those are his first 2 misses at the line this afternoon, and Charles Bassey goes over the back. His 3rd personal foul. First team foul on Western Kentucky.
You love the aggressiveness by Charles there, but sometimes the big fella, you just got to let that one go and live to fight another day. Great box out by Alex Hicks to force the over the back call.
An 11-point Troy lead. Touched on how these head coaches are very familiar with each other going back to their days in Mississippi State, but they go way back before then as Hicks gets popped for a traveling call. That's the 9th turnover on Troy. Rick Stansberry played at Campbellsville. His head coach was Phil Cunningham's father.
Yeah, I have a connection to both of these staffs. Of course, was a freshman at Mississippi State in 1992. Rick Stansberry, Phil Cunningham, both assistant coaches on that staff, and Troy assistant Marcus Grant and I were incoming freshmen together.
There's a 3 in the corner. That is 3, number 7 for Troy. 13-0 run for the Trojans.
Hilltoppers need to stop the bleeding here.
Running floater for Bearden. There's a nice answer. He's got 11.
Now, Hilltoppers just got to sit down and get it done on the defensive end. Got to get a stop here.
Adams loops it in the paint, looking for Bernardo. Cycles it back out. On the drive, this is Miller. Miller to Adams for 3. Bernardo offensive rebound, just muscles it up and in.
Great possession for the Trojans. Patience offensively, inside out, wide open shot, and Hilltoppers unable to keep Jordan Bernardo off the glass.
Nelson on the drive. Nelson all the way to the rim, puts it in.
Charles Norman saying, my bad, not there on the baseline rotation to give help. Merrick Nelson with a nice drive attacking the rim.
Troy is shooting 75% from the field in the second half. Miller fouled by Nelson. Second team foul on West Kentucky, and for Nelson, his first personal. This takes us to the media timeout. 14:33 remaining in the second half. It's all Troy for the moment. 58-46 lead for Troy over West Kentucky. Back with more to Diddle Arena. 12-point lead for Troy over West Kentucky with 14:33 to play in the second half. The Hilltoppers with Heart program helps give Western Kentucky student athletes, coaches, and staff the opportunity to make an impact in Bowling Green and Warren County communities. Passport Health Plan is a proud sponsor of Western Kentucky Hilltoppers with Heart. More information is available at 1-800-578-0603. So coming out of this timeout, Coach Stansberry sends in Josh Anderson and Delano Banton. Banton played 4 minutes in the first half. Anderson played 10, and a 5-second violation has been called on Troy. That's a nice answer for the Hilltoppers coming out of that timeout.
Well, Troy's been hot from the field, and you get back in this game, you're going to have to turn up the defensive intensity, and it's a great start for the Hilltoppers there, creating a turnover on the 5 count.
Pass to Savage, taken away by Bernardo. 10 turnovers against West Kentucky. They averaged 14 in contest. Here's Adams. Finds Miller. Miller directing traffic. He's got 9 points today. Bernardo floats one up in a crowd. Tap back up to Miller. Miller finds Norman. Slings it in the paint to Hicks. Misses it short and rebound. Banton, his first of the game. Banton threads the needle on a pass to Anderson.
That's the best offense for West Kentucky in the first half was a transition, attack, and get to the free throw line. So far, the second half, only 2 free throw attempts, and that time, Delano Banton making it happen in transition, getting this crowd at Dill Arena back into the game.
Yeah, really for the first time today, crowd into it. Bernardo cuts to the bucket and puts it through. He has 11.
Jared Savage just fell asleep. Bernardo with a heads-up face cut to the basket, and that's a tough matchup for West Kentucky this half. Undersized Savage on Bernardo.
Band flips one up. Offensive board, Smith, he lost it. Ripped away by Charles Norman. B.J. Miller, senior from Meridian, Mississippi. Finds Adams. Adams tries to bank one in. Smith can't hold on to it, and it's thrown off of the foot of Adams. Heads-up play by the sophomore Hollinsworth.
We get the stop there if you're Western Kentucky, but the inability there to get the clean rebound and ignite the, the transition offense. And now you're walking the ball up the floor against a set defense instead of getting out and running, getting numbers.
KJ Simon checks back in for Troy, coming in for Adams. West Kentucky coming off of a 78-77 victory at Arkansas. The win for the Hilltoppers snapped the Razorbacks' 28-game non-conference home winning streak, which was the longest in the SEC. What a jam by Jared Savage. Team high 15 points for Savage.
Savage aggressive there. He's a catch and shoot guy primarily and loves the three-point shot, but they're showing the ability to get to the rim, attack and finish.
Miller kicks it up top to Bernardo. Misses it short. Picked up by Anderson. Anderson pitches it to Hollinsworth. That would have brought the house down.
They were ready for that.
Ten-point Trojan lead. They led by as much as 14. Hicks, he's done this twice already today. Make it 3 times.
If you're the freshman Tolo Smith, you got to recognize the hot hand and get out there and close out on the shooter.
Smith calling for it. Anderson doesn't feed him. Anderson will take care of business himself.
Tough finish by Anderson. That's what he does best. Puts his head down, attacks the basket.
Trojans themselves coming off a record-setting performance last time out against Carver College. They only allowed 43 points. That's the fewest points allowed in Trojan Arena history. 45-point win was also the largest margin of victory in Trojan Arena history as well. Under 4 for Bernardo. Haynes can't hit. Anderson pulls down the board, his third. Anderson all the way to the rim himself, finishes with the left hand. Timeout, Troy. Now the crowd's into it, Jay.
Well, they've been willing this team to get some stops defensively, and that's where you get that clean rebound. And Josh Anderson that time taking it upon himself, coast to coast. Never stopped the ball, and a great left-hand finish in transition.
9-point lead for Troy when we come back to Diddle Arena with 11:05 remaining. 11:05 remaining in the second half. Troy leads West Kentucky 63-54. Now time for the assist of the game, which is brought to you by Luxury Imports. The 2019 Mercedes-Benz GLC can be experienced at Luxury Imports of Bowling Green. More information available at mbusa.com. How about that feed from the freshman Delano Banton to Anderson, who laid it up and in.
Josh Anderson making his presence known here in the second half. Got 3 quick buckets and all in transition. That's what Western Kentucky has to do. Back-to-back stops, rebound, outlet, and run.
Bernardo silences the crowd with a topside three. 14 points for Bernardo.
The big answer for Troy coming out of the timeout, kind of silence a little bit of a run there by Western Kentucky.
Big reason why Troy has a 12-point lead as a foul's been called on the Hilltoppers. It's on Anderson, his second. Troy is 9 of 18 from downtown.
Feeling it a little bit. We talked about that before the game, and it's amazing how made shots sometimes affects your energy defensively and all the other areas of the game. So far, Troy playing a little bit harder than usual. These shots are going through the rim.
Tolo Smith tries to post up, cycles it out for Banton for a three, way off the mark. Taken away here by Troy. Simon comes away with it.
Certainly not your first option there offensively for Western Kentucky.
Ten-minute mark in the second half. And under 10 to shoot here for the Trojans. A corner in the corner here now underneath to Miller. 2 seconds, 1 second. Norman gets it off, in and out. Rebound Savage for the Hilltoppers. Anderson from 17 misses short. Miller tracks down the board.
Yeah, I don't think Coach Stansbury likes the last two possessions offensively. Earlier in the half, we've seen the Hilltoppers get out in transition, attack the rim, and last two times down the floor, settle for jump shots by guys that are not your best shooters.
In traffic, a lot of contact. Bucket made by Simon.
No call. Coach Stansbury looking for the charge, but doesn't get it.
14-point lead for Troy, the largest of the game. Here's Anderson on the drive. Anderson flips it to Banton, who will dunk it. 4 points for the freshman, Banton.
Hilltoppers back in his zone defense, which you've seen quite a bit of here in this second half.
A turnover, the 11th. Opportunities for West Kentucky as Hollingsworth will flip it up and in. 9 points for Tavion Hollingsworth.
Again, the easy bucket in transition. Zone defense effective here for West Kentucky. Just so much length. It's hard to pass that ball against the zone. And you want to get the ball inside to the high post. And that time they were able just to poke it away and ignite the break.
Norman for three. That's number 10 for Troy. Their season high is 12 against Fort Valley State in the opener. Under 8 to play, 71-58 advantage for Troy. Smith calling for it. Freshman kicks it out to Banton. We got a whistle and a carry. That is now 12 turnovers on West Kentucky. And this will take us to immediate timeout with 7:38 remaining in the second half. Troy 71, West Kentucky 58. Back with more at Diddle Arena after this. Welcome back to Diddle Arena. Graham Doty and Jay Walton with you this Sunday afternoon in Bowling Green. Troy has a 71-58 lead over West Kentucky. And Jay, what has jumped out to you in the second half?
Well, I look at the stat sheet here. In the first half, West Kentucky had 15 of 17 from the free throw line. Only 2 attempts so far the second half. So they've been able to get out and run a little bit off some stops defensively and create some things in transition. But in the half court, settling for too many jump shots, not attacking the rim, getting to that foul line like they did early on.
Troy's just been able to knock down some shots. Troy is shooting at a 58% clip in the second half, over 50% for the game.
West Kentucky back in the 1-3-1, which is very, very good to them in the first half.
Norman for three, that's number 11 for Troy. And a technical's been called on Norman after he made it.
I hate to see that, because the young man's playing great this afternoon, knocking down big shots, and just a little bit too much celebration there by Norman.
junior college transfer from Shelton State Community College. He's from Durham, North Carolina, as Hollingsworth will attempt the free throws for West Kentucky. You can see Norman was stunned. The official right in the area, though.
Yeah, you got to let him know about it a little bit, right?
Can't be a robot. Everybody has emotion, especially like you said, he's having a big day. 9 points for Norman.
Breakout game for him so far offensively. Some big shots, particularly that one against the 1-3-1 that Western Kentucky had gone back to. It's a little too excited there for the make.
Troy 74, West Kentucky 59 in the first meeting between these two teams since 2014. Rick Stansberry's never lost to Troy in his career. He's 3-0 all time against the Trojans, dating back to his days at Mississippi State. Bearden misses short on a 3. Rebound underneath for Bernardo. He now has a double-double, 14 points and 10 boards.
Yes, once again, the shot selection there. I'm not saying Lamonte Bearden doesn't ever need to take that shot, but right now, the way this game's going, there's better shooters on the floor, especially that early in a possession offensively for West Kentucky.
The pass from Miller hit the rim, Jay, and it stays with the Trojans here.
You got away with that.
Yeah, that wasn't a shot as Bernardo goes to work. Reverse layup. Wow, what a move by Bernardo.
Crafty finish, used the rim as protection against the block. And again, Jared Savage is going to have a hard time guarding Jordan Bernardo one-on-one.
The lob to Bassey deflected. Hollingsworth tries to tap it to Anderson out of his reach. 13 turnovers on West Kentucky.
Uncharacteristic turnover there by Tavion Hollingsworth. They had the ball screen action with he and Charles Bassey looking for the little two-man game, and just great hands by a Troy defender to get a deflection.
Bernardo calling for it. Quick hands there by Savage with the turnover. And a double dribble the basketball. It's just been that kind of a day for the Hilltoppers.
Well, in that last possession, we talked about Jared Savage having a hard time guarding Bernardo. That time he got the help on the double team and forced the turnover, but gave it right back to Troy in transition.
Troy has made their last 4 shots. Norman, another 3. That one's off the mark. That would have tied the season high for Troy this season if he would have made it. Here's Hollingsworth. Nice dish to Anderson. Put back by Bassey.
That's what you want to see. Get something going to the basket. Josh Anderson unable to finish, but just the fact that he's attacking the rim there gives Charles Bassey the opportunity for a putback on the weak side glass.
Norman avoids the double team. He will pull up and misses the floater. Hollingsworth aboard, his outlet up ahead to Bearden. Bearden hangs and gets fouled. Foul goes on the senior B.J. Miller. That's only the 4th foul against Troy in the second half. 3rd personal foul on Miller.
For Western to make a run at this thing late and get back in this ball game, we're going to have consecutive stops defensively. And that time, two in a row here. Both have led to baskets, or at least an opportunity here for a score at the free throw line by Bearden.
How do you think Bearden's looked in his first game of the season?
Well, he's created a lot of problems for Troy. We've mentioned his ability to get in the paint and break the defense down. And, he's got a few more turnovers than Coach Stansbury would like to see. Maybe a little bit of rust to shake off, but going to have to get a great push from him late here, and it's going to have to start on the defensive end of the floor.
Norman lost it, recovers. Troy's had the lead the entire second half. Bernardo in the corner. Here's Norman again. 2 seconds, 1 second. Bernardo has to get it off, and he hits it at the buzzer.
Big time play for the leader of this Troy team. Shot clock winding down, and recognizes it and shows the outside touch.
Miller Finds Bernardo again. The senior with a bullet of a pass to Norman for 3. Rebound underneath for Bassey, his 6th.
Missed the shot there on the backside of the floor, but what a great job by Bernardo getting that ball out of the double team, finding the open shooter. Charles Bassey with a monster slam.
Maybe that'll get Bassey going. He now has 13 points and 7 boards with under 4 minutes left in the game. Hicks, tough pass to Norman. Troy today shooting 55% from the field. 5 on the shot clock for Miller. Miller on the drive is fouled. This will be the 3rd foul on Western Kentucky. And this will take us to our final immediate timeout with 3:19 remaining in the second half. Troy 79, Western Kentucky 64. Trojans at the line when we come back to Diddle Arena. (79-64) lead for Troy with Christmas right around the corner. And Jay, big reason that Troy has had success today. Bernardo's got his 21st career double-double. Just another day at the office for him.
Extremely impressed with this young man. You see the passing ability right there. The double team comes. He has the patience to dribble away from it, get the ball to the backside of the floor. Missed that three-point shot in the corner, but that's a great look and a great find by their leader, who's, you know, you think a young man wants to go and do it all himself, but he can perch in a lot of different ways offensively. Inside, outside, scoring the ball, and there with the passing ability.
Well, Troy head coach Phil Cunningham, he said earlier this week that Jordan Bernardo, his offensive game at this point of his career, light years ahead of his brother Jarvis, but Jarvis was just a monster on the defensive end.
The best ever in NCAA at shot blocking, and what a luxury to have that as a head coach.
A lob to Bassey, goes up and gets it and earns a foul. So Charles Bassey goes to the line here for just a 2nd time this afternoon. That's rare for him because he is accustomed to going to the line a lot.
Right. And there we get a little ball screen action at the top of the key, and Charles does a nice job of rolling. He's got great footwork, very good hands, and going to show off his nice touch here from the free throw line as well.
He's been to the line and attempted more free throws 10 more times than the next closest Hilltopper player, which is Hollingsworth. You look down at Bassey today, he has 15 points, kind of a quiet 15 points.
Yeah, a lot of that's come off the offensive glass.
Hollingsworth gets a steal here for the Hilltoppers. He's in trouble, and he turns it right back over. Back-to-back turnovers.
Coach Stansbury wants a reach-in foul.
Troy coming off one of their better games of the season against Harvard College, and they are picked up today right where they left off against Harvard College last time out, as Bernardo misses and Anderson can't hold on to the rebound, giving it right back to Troy. I don't think the shot hit the rim. Phil Cunningham was protesting that it hit the rim, so there's 4 on the shot clock for the Trojans.
You have to recognize that and get a quick one.
2 seconds for Norman. Forces one up at the buzzer. Hollingsworth with a board. A double-double today for Hollingsworth as he's fouled by Adams. That's the 6th foul against Troy, first personal on Adams. Savage calling for it. He tees up a 3 and nails it. Timeout, Western Kentucky. 18 points for Jared Savage. He's 6 of 8 from the field. So you look up here, Jay, there's still a lot of time in this game. It's an 11-point Troy lead with 2:20 left.
Well, they've got to get it done on the defensive end. You know, they've got to find a way to keep Troy from scoring so we can rebound, get the ball out in transition, and attack the paint here late in the game. Just a terrible defensive breakdown by Troy on that last possession. You cannot lose Jared Savage off the inbound play. Nobody around him. Jordan Bernardo runs at him late, but He's going to make that shot most of the time. And you're sitting here nursing this lead late in the game. You can't afford a breakdown like that if you're Troy.
Troy has led the entire second half. They have led for 29 minutes and 40 seconds compared to only 5:33 for West Kentucky.
This crowd's been begging them just to, willing them defensively to get those stops. And so far, Troy, anytime they've been able to make a short run, Troy's been able to come back with an answer.
You mentioned the crowd. This crowd has been on the verge of just getting ready to explode, wanting something to cheer for. This is only the third home game this season for West Kentucky.
Brutal.
They've been on the road a lot.
Brutal schedule so far, and it doesn't get any easier either. The next game up at Belmont. They just came off a win at UCLA yesterday. Yeah,
Belmont really good. That's right down the road in Nashville. Then you got two big ones after that, St. Mary's and Wisconsin coming to Diddle Arena. Then you open conference play with 3 consecutive road games. Half-court trap, and we got a foul called on West Kentucky. This will be the 4th on the Hilltoppers.
We haven't talked a lot about B.J. Miller today for Troy, but this young man has played very well, under control, facilitated the offense, and gotten the ball to his team right where they needed to get it.
Bernardo lost it. Banton has it. Chance to cut it to single digits. Savage gets fouled on the way up by Charles Norman. 3 free throws on the way for Jared Savage.
Just a cardinal sin there by Norman. You never want to foul the three-point shooter. Get a hand up in his face, make him make the tough shot. Now Norman fouls out. Savage at the line with a chance to score 3 as the clock is stopped. Just a couple of mental breakdowns here by Troy late defensively.
Savage sinks the free throw. He's got 19 points today to lead West Kentucky. Savage coming off of a game against Arkansas. He scored 20 points against the Razorbacks.
89% free throw shooter. Makes him pay with all 3.
West Kentucky is now on an 8-0 run over the last minute. 2 minutes left in the game.
Now with full court pressure.
Troy, no field goals in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Who do the Trojans go to here as Hollingsworth punches it out of bounds?
Well, the first thing they want to do is not get sped up. Don't let this pressure make them take a shot that they don't want. And I'm going to my main guns. I'm going to Jordan Bernardo all day. If not him, then Alex Hicks. Both those guys have been huge today. Their front court, we knew coming in this game, was their strength offensively, and so far today they've been able to prove why.
Hicks has a team high 20. Bernardo with a double-double, 19 and 10. Under 10 to shoot. Miller on the drive. Miller puts it in for Troy.
Great job by Troy handling that pressure. Get the ball out of a double team and
there's a nice response there by Josh Anderson. He's got 8. West Kentucky is down to 1 timeout. Troy has 2 to work with. With a minute 18 left in the game. And a foul's been called on Savage. This will be the 5th one on West Kentucky. 3rd personal on Savage. Miller and Hollingsworth collide, and the foul goes on Hollingsworth, his 3rd personal. 6 fouls on the Hilltoppers.
And Troy just got to get this ball in bounds against some pressure defense that Western Kentucky's going to bring right here, and then just take care of the ball. Take care of the ball, meet your passes, step up and make free throws, and ice this game away.
Miller, Hollingsworth, and a flagrant has been called, I believe, on Troy. But the exact same thing happened moments ago. Hollingsworth again ended up on his back.
Well, I thought we were about to get a foul on the ball handler. I thought I heard a whistle before the flagrant was committed on the breakaway.
There's a minute 11 left in the second half. The officials are going over to the monitor to check this one out. But a flagrant was signaled. It looked like Anderson got the steal.
Well, clearly they wrapped him up. That's where the intentional foul was called, but I thought I heard a whistle on B.J. Miller, and the contact between Miller and Hollingsworth on the sideline. There's a no call there, and then, as you said, Anderson heads up, comes up with a steal, and going to have a breakaway dunk there, wrapped up from behind. So interesting turn of events here late, and again, a couple of not so heads up plays by Troy, giving the Hilltoppers a chance here.
Rick Stansberry is trying to figure out if the Hilltoppers will receive the basketball after this, as Anderson at the line this season is 10 for 16. His first trip today, and his first one is good. Anderson started the season as the point guard for West Kentucky. Now that Lamonte Bearden is back, I don't think Anderson has to worry about that anymore.
No, he will not. Clutch free throws by Anderson. Got ourselves a ball game here. Now the crowd on its feet.
Packed house at Diddle Arena once again with 1:11 left in the game. West Kentucky is on a 12-2 run over the past 2 minutes. In the paint to Bassey. Bassey goes up and one.
Love the play call by Rick Stansberry in West Kentucky. With your best guard, Tavion Hollingsworth, on the same side as Charles Bassey. Two-man game. He goes right inside. Big Charles catches the ball deep. Turn, score. No dribble needed. No time for a double team to arrive. And he finishes the play.
14-2 run for West Kentucky. How have they done it, Jay?
They've gotten stops. And a couple of mental breakdowns defensively by Troy have allowed them to capitalize with some buckets.
So West Kentucky has chopped the Troy lead down to 3. Diddle Arena is loud.
You really have to foul if you're Western. Just play pressure defense there. Hollingsworth with the reach-in foul. I don't think Coach Stansberry likes that move at all. I think we play that defensive possession out, hope to get a stop and a rebound. Then you got the ball down 3 with a chance to go score and tie the game.
Yeah, just the look on Rick Stansberry's face, you could tell he was frustrated. After the foul, Adams hits the front end of a 1-and-1. That's 4 fouls, by the way, on Hollingsworth. Something to watch. Final 51 seconds.
For Troy, this is who you want at the line. Darian Adams, an 88% free throw shooter, and delivers.
He's got 10 points. He's the 4th Trojan in double digits this afternoon. 5-point Trojan lead. And West Kentucky turns it over. Hilltoppers tried to lob it to Charles Bassey, and Bassey's slow to get up.
Yeah, Charles had position inside, just not enough air under the pass there from Delano Banton. Sails it a little bit out of bounds.
And Bassey, he landed awkwardly on his ankle. And he's going to come out. Or is he? Yeah, Coach Stansberry will send Nelson in for Charles Bassey.
Full court pressure here by the Hilltoppers. Want to try to force a 5 count or get a steal on the inbound.
Timeout taken by Troy. Trojans have 1 timeout left with 41 seconds remaining in the second half. Troy desperately holding on to this 5-point lead. So this will be a 30-second timeout. We're just going to keep it here. But coming down to the wire, old Sun Belt Conference foes meeting for the first time in 4 years. This game is not disappointed.
No, especially not here these last 2 or 3 minutes. And you know, if you're Troy, you're in a position to a couple possessions and made free throws away from icing this game away, and a furious rally by the Hilltoppers. Now, most important thing for Troy, get this ball in bounds. Got to get the ball in bounds against some pressure here, and get the ball in your best free throw shooter's hands. I want Darian Adams coming to the ball. I want B.J. Miller coming to the ball, meeting my passes and stepping up, making some big free throws down the stretch.
Adams on the inbounds. He gets it into Bernardo. Bernardo was able to flip it to Miller. It's about a 10-second difference. Game clock, shot clock. Troy just gets it across in time, and a foul's been called on Hollingsworth, and Hollingsworth just fouls out. Unless they call it on Anderson, they call it on Anderson. That's his second personal.
Dangerously close to a 10-second violation there for Troy. Just does get it across the half-court line in time. And now a freshman with an opportunity to step up and make some big free throws here.
Simon is a 56% free throw shooter. The lefty misses the front end of a 1-and-1. Rebound Savage, 25 seconds left. 5-point Troy lead. Savage all the way to the rim, puts it in. Timeout, West Kentucky. Hilltoppers have no timeouts remaining.
Well, I like that decision by Jared Savage. Doesn't have to have a three quite yet. Put pressure on the defense, get back, attack the rim, and he gets the quick score. Now you got a chance to call timeout, set up your defense again. And here we are in a situation again where Troy has to get the ball in bounds. Last possession really struggled, almost with a 10-second violation just to get it across half court. So Hilltoppers here with a chance to put a little bit more pressure on the Trojans.
One timeout left for Troy, in case you're wondering. So biggest thing for each team here coming out of this timeout is what?
Well, if you're Western, you're face guard all the way. Don't let my man catch. Let's try to get a 5 count. Let's try to go for a steal. And if we don't get it, gonna have to think foul right away after that.
Darian Adams will throw the ball in. Jared Savage will guard on the baseline. They got a whistle and a foul away from the basketball. It's on West Kentucky, and this will send Troy to the line for a 1-and-1.
Coach Rick Stansbury doesn't like it, but I agree with the call. Good call.
So this to make it a 2-possession lead for Troy. And it's the senior B.J. Miller, who was 1 for 2 at the stripe today. He's a career 73% free throw shooter.
Been wonderful this afternoon. And love to see this young man step up in this pressure situation.
Calmly knocks down the first one. 4-point Troy lead. Remember, no timeouts left for West Kentucky. Makes them both.
Again, I don't think you have to have a 3 right away if you're West Kentucky. Get to the rim as quick as you can and then jump right in that press.
Bearden pitches it to Hollingsworth. He will crank a 3, misses it short. Rebound underneath for Troy. Miller has it. Miller falls down on the baseline. He's fouled. So now Troy is in the double bonus, and they have 2 free throws, and Troy is 12.6 seconds away from walking out of Diddle Arena with a huge win.
It is their best of the year by far. Coming in here, a hostile environment, playing very well this afternoon. Hicks and Bernardo have been their leaders throughout the course of the year. They've been waiting for contributions from some of their perimeter guys, Javen Johnson and Darian Adams. And Adams and Charles Norman were the keys today, especially in the second half. Hit some really big shots. B.J. Miller, the senior point guard, doing what you would expect out of him, stepping up and icing this game away.
Yeah, Jay, just looking at it, 4 players in double digits for Troy. As a team, Trojans shoot 54% from the floor, including us tying their season high 12 threes, 12 of 25 from downtown. Savage fires a 3, misses it out of bounds. It is West Kentucky basketball with 4 seconds left. Bearden gets it in quickly to Savage, misses it. Savage gets it back, misses twice. Final score, Troy goes on the road and knocks off West Kentucky in Diddle Arena 87-81. What's your biggest takeaway from today's outcome?
Well, I think when Rick Stansbury looks at this film, he's going to be very disappointed in the Hilltoppers' ability to get stops defensively. Early in the first half, they were able to do that, create some opportunities in transition, and weren't very good in the half-court offense today. So hot start to the second half for Troy. Western Kentucky not able to put consecutive stops together. I think that's the biggest takeaway for Western Kentucky and Troy. For those guys, breakout offensive performances by a couple of key wing players and give them some balance offensively with what Hicks and Bernardo provide. And the springboard game for them moving forward.
So for Jay Walton, I'm Graham Doty saying so long from Diddle Arena in Bowling Green, Kentucky, where the final score is the Troy Trojans 87, Western Kentucky Hilltoppers 81. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.